Hi, I'm Dean Morgan.
I'm Beth Morgan, and this is why less is the new retired.
This channel is replacing Coldstream Cottage and is meant to be a mindset shift, learning what enough really means.
That's right.
So, we want to embrace a simpler lifestyle by prioritizing experiences over our possessions.
We're going to redefine what success means to us and happiness through intentional living and conscious choices, which I think we've learned this over our lifetime, but just now are putting it into practice.
Or, as I like to say, executing on a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, part of that is letting go of the need for excess space or belongings or just status symbols. We are not buying things to impress other people now. We are buying things because we need them and we're planning on fulfilling our retirement dreams. I don't know if they're dreams or not, but they're certainly our plans for retirement.
We would like to introduce what we feel like is finding contentment and having just what you need rather than always wanting more or having excess and trying to keep up with everyone else and listening to all of the advertisements and all of the social media that say, oh, you need this.
And we try to appreciate the freedom and the flexibility that comes from having less. And we'll talk to you more about the financial implications of it. We'll talk to you more about our lifestyle, how that's changed, and what the coming year is going to bring for us.
So, what happened to Coldstream Cottage?
Coldstream Cottage was an idea that we had for Beth's baking and talking about our lifestyle. However, we sold the Coldstream Cottage, so it doesn't make much sense to still have a Coldstream Cottage channel. And we also wanted to focus on how we've changed our lifestyle. We have moved from a large home to a condo, and we will be continuing to talk about and show you how much that has changed and what things have changed and why that's going to be a better choice for us. The driving factor on this is my upcoming retirement. I will be retiring in about a year, and we wanted to get to a point where I could retire and feel comfortable with what we were doing and how much we were spending. I sat down in my chair one day and Beth asked me,
what do you think about selling the house?
And my answer was, to do what?
And I said, you're never going to be able to retire and enjoy life with me if we don't sell the house.
And so that financial consideration also led us into lifestyle questions. If we decide to sell the house, will we glean enough to pay off our bills? Where will we move to? We have 2 dogs and we have a lot of stuff we did at Coldstream Cottage, but it was things that we maybe never used. And so part of the cost of the financial housing consideration was, should we move to a smaller place that was less expensive? Should we even move to a smaller space, right?
Well, we also discussed we did a spreadsheet about moving into an apartment versus a condo or buying a smaller home. And one of the things that kept coming up was, if you moved into a smaller home, you still owned a home. And the cost of maintenance and even a smaller footprint was still outweighing us moving into an apartment or the condo. Then with the apartment, we found they were lovely, they were spacious, it was great, but they almost cost as much as the house that we had then. 2,600 plus square foot home, a $1,900 house payment, and all of the things that go with that. We still were going to have a lot of that payment part when we moved into an apartment, and the risk of having to move again.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to mention about the apartments is, if you're thinking about getting an apartment, think about all of the extras that they add on to apartments
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
Every time when we went and looked at apartments, we really enjoyed them, and they seemed like they were starting off relatively low compared to what we had as a house. But every time we started looking at what things were being added on, whether it's reserved parking or whether it was a storage
A
space or
pet
something.
fee, a monthly pet fee, pest control fee, the trash pickup from your door, all those things still added up.
Garage.
And if you wanted a garage, so we were used to a garage, but that was not a big deal, and it was not a make or break for us. But those things add up. So the apartment rent was this, and then when you add on all those other things,
It actually came
the
to
more.
than what we were paying as a mortgage payment on the Coldstream Cottage.
Mhm, mhm,
So there was also the need, in our estimation, getting older,
mhm.
a need for a single story. And Coldstream Cottage was 2-story. When we moved in there, that was not really the consideration.
Could have been,
It should have been,
but it wasn't.
but we found as we started living there that we only lived in one small portion of the house. And maybe you have seen that in your own living space. If you have, please comment below and let us know if you've actually noticed that. We noticed that we were only staying in the living room and the kitchen and out on the porch and then in the bedroom. And that was really the max. And that was the max. We had a 5-bedroom house that we basically stayed in one of the bedrooms and used one of the bedrooms as an office. And the other 3 bedrooms we never even went into.
Our granddaughters came and stayed. We have extended family, and we thought that we would have the big house so that we could have people over, but we really didn't have that much company coming through. Our granddaughters were the most that came and stayed. So we had a guest room, of course, but and an office for you.
Mhm.
But when he retires, we may not need the office in the house. That was going to be another empty space.
Mhm. So when we looked at our needs,
Our need for a smaller footprint was obvious now. We've gone over all of that. That we only use a few rooms in the home, and then we looked at maintenance. We had a pool, we
Mhm.
had a big yard, and so those things were costing us every month.
I may have swam in the pool one time in the last year of owning the house,
Mm,
and Beth maybe twice or
two or three
two or three
times
times, 2 or 3
with the
times.
children.
And even the children didn't come over and go into the
Well,
pool
this past year,
as much as we
yeah,
expected them to.
yeah.
So we had some considerable things that we had there that we weren't using and that we didn't feel like the need was there for retirement,
Mhm.
especially if we wanted to do the next step, which was to eliminate debt.
And so, in our process of thinking, we really needed the mortgage to be reduced.
Mortgage reduction would have to be considerable to fit in with our budget going into retirement. One of the first things we did was to create a budget. And then I took that budget and I ran it through ChatGPT to try and get an idea of what our savings would be or how much would be the max we would want to pay for wherever our housing would be. And so that would be that's a great piece that we will be going over in another video about how to use ChatGPT to identify where your savings might be and how much savings you might get.
That's right. We also ran it by our financial advisor,
Mhm.
sent her what Dean did with ChatGPT.
Yes, and so part of the incentive to get the house sold was that we had done a lot of updates, a lot of fixes on the house, which had cost a good deal of money. And so that debt pay down was definitely worthwhile to us. Even though we'd only had the house for about 2.5 years, we did glean enough money to pay off all of our debts, pretty much all of our debts.
We're working on the last one right now, and
Yes.
it should be done within the next year.
That's student loan, which has been hanging around like a bad penny for years and years and years. So we're ready to be done with student. We don't look like we go to college, do we?
I compare it to a chin hair.
Ah, well, there's that.
It's always there.
So the budget for our retirement, we I know that a lot of places say that you should budget what you make plus this much in your last year of working. We're trying not to do that. Again, I refer you to the name of this channel, which is Less is the New Retired. We're trying to budget to spend less in retirement based on a budget that works for us and what we're paying out for various things.
Also, be aware that we are not being cheap. We're not trying to cut the corners so that we're miserly. We want to travel. We want to do things. And we found that with my income, with a pension and the retirement and Dean's income, we're not even really looking at our retirement savings, anything like that.
Right. We won't be taking any money out of our retirement savings in the 401k for several years. And that's probably until I have to start doing RMDs at 73. Well, I'm 64 now. So once I retire at 65, then I should be able to avoid taking anything out of the 401k for a significant amount of time.
Mm-hmm. And we also have budgeted for emergencies and things like that. But we also budgeted for vacations and trips. And especially once Dean is retired, we'll have more freedom of when we'll be able to do that. But we are budgeting those things in because we do like to travel and we do like to take vacations with our family. And there's things that we would like to do. And that's why that is the basis for doing this.
And lest you think that this is all about us traveling and having a good time, part of the budget was also about making sure that we had long-term care. And Beth has been very key in pointing out about insurance. There was a time many years ago which she came to me and said, look, I'd like to buy my retirement back because I think it would do us well for having insurance moving forward. And if you'd want to talk a little bit about that.
Well, it was a question because it was going to cost us quite a nice sum of money. I had sold my retirement, taken it out years ago, but I had enough to retire and get a very nice pension from the state of South Carolina. And within that, the benefits with the state of South Carolina included insurance. And then once I turned 65, it allowed me to have my Medicare and a supplemental policy through the insurance that I had that also included my husband. So it covered both of us. And it also, we were able to pick up eye care and dental. And he will be able to go on the supplement once he turns 65. And that's taken out of my retirement income with the state before I ever see it. It's one of the best benefits that we have. And so to lose that and looking at today's situation, I think would have been disastrous. And so we also went to an accountant and talked to them about it to make sure that that was the choice, because we were going to have to borrow the money to pay off to buy back what I had taken out. And so we wanted to make sure that that was going to be a sacrifice for us, that was the best thing. And he talked to Dean and listened to what we had to say. And he said, it's a no-brainer, buy it back. And I think that is one of the best things that we've done for our retirement thus far.
Right. When we bought back our retirement and we got the insurance, I have not had to buy insurance from the companies that I've worked for about the last 12 years. So that has saved me money on my income, as well as given us a stable health insurance to deal with. So you need to think about more than just how do I retire and have enough to do what I want to do, but also what do I do about health insurance? What do I do about long-term care? And one of the things, as I mentioned earlier, Beth had said, well, do you think we need to go ahead and get long-term care? I was 60, just about to turn 62 when we bought long-term care. And she convinced me of the fact that we needed the long-term care. And the more I think about it, I'm convinced that that's something we need to keep and have long-term into retirement.
And again, long-term care is another subject that people have many different opinions on, and especially those who have gone through a loved one being in long-term care. And so I believe that that would be a subject for it.
Another video. We'll be
We're
doing
going to look
yeah.
into that as well, depending.
And we'll talk more about the pros and cons of long-term care in another video. We want to really get across is that you need to be thinking about what the things are that you, my puppy takes a cameo, but you should be thinking about the key considerations going into retirement about what it is that you need to be considering, whether it's long-term care or your ability to pay all your bills, but also what is it that you're trying to achieve. And so
Emma's trying to achieve flight.
Yes, this is Emma. She wanted to come visit. So we want to talk about all of that, and we'll be having additional videos going over various pieces of what our consideration or our types of ideas were for moving into retirement, and what our timing was for that, because it's very important. Timing is very important in your move to retirement. So to recap some of the key considerations we were talking about affordability. We're talking about enough space, but not too much. We're talking about flexibility, and moving into our condo community was about just that, community. So part of what we're looking to achieve out of retirement and moving away from owning a home and into a retirement community, which is what we moved into, a 55 plus retirement community, is life expansion and being able to have that community surrounding us. The life expansion means to us.
Well, again, we talked about more freedom to travel because we don't have to worry about all the maintenance and things that go along with a home. We're in a community that's gated. Our building is coded. You know, you can't just get in here, which is really nice.
And it gives us increased flexibility in our lifestyle, right? If we want to pursue a hobby or we want to do something, it's easier for us to do that kind of spontaneously if we want to, or relatively spontaneously, because we do have the as you saw, the puppies live with us. There is the idea of lock and leave living when you move into a condo. And for some of you, that might be a really good opportunity. That is that you move into a condo and then you have security, as Beth mentioned, and eventually you want to go somewhere, you just lock the door and go where you want to go, right? Now, that does not apply to us because we have pets, and because we have pets, we have to either have someone come in to watch them or we board them. So it is an extended option for us, but we wouldn't give up our pets for anything. So,
And we also have, our neighbors have been wonderful. Everybody has been friendly, giving information, let us know that there's anything we needed or had questions about, that we're able to just ask just about anybody who's been here a while. They have activities that you can participate in or not. It's not mandatory. They have, card games and bingo. They have cornhole and pool and a reading room and exercise room and a pool, and that I don't have to take care of. So I like that part.
So the downsizing to us means essentially that we end up having more opportunities to spend time doing what we want to do and resources to use on experiences instead of possessions and maintaining a home. And that's, to us, that makes all the difference in the world. We get to spend more time with our children, more time with our each other. And when I finally get retired, then we'll be able to execute on some of these things and be able to do more of that. But we're already starting. We've got a jazz festival that we're going to in February, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Then maybe in April we'll get to do something on spring break with the kids.
That's true.
Also, just the possessions is what I wanted to talk about for a little bit. That might be another video. That's been really hard. And for me, I'm very clingy and very sentimental. I have been learning to get rid of things that I don't need, haven't looked at in 20 years. It's been in a box, but when I open it, it's like I don't want to get rid of it, but I have to. So take a picture. It lasts a whole lot longer and it doesn't take up room because it's digital. And I would like to talk about that, just my experience from having to downsize at a later video.
And we will be talking about, again, all about all of these different aspects of what we've been doing and how we've been planning for this.
Mhm.
Our history was that we sold a big house some time ago and we came out of it and paid off a lot of debts, moved into an apartment. So we knew how much we had. It was a dry run for what we're doing now,
Mhm.
which was that we were able to see how much 1,100 square foot apartment, how much space we had, that we were able to make that work. So we've been planning on this for quite some time as far as downsizing. And I would always recommend that you do that planning exercises and that you think about what it is that you want to achieve in your retirement and how having less, going into retirement with less, is going to affect your budget, how that's going to affect your lifestyle. Now, for some of you, it may not be something that you want to do. It may not be, you may not want to go into retirement without enough money to do all of the things that you currently do. And if that's the case, we understand. This may not be for everyone, but it is for us. And we wanted to share it with you so that you'll understand why we're doing this. And maybe you will understand or be able to share with us what your plans are. So we would like for you to give us some kind of sense of whether or not this resonates with you. Please comment and let us know what you plan to do in retirement, what you like, what you don't like, what you think your retirement would look like.
And maybe where are you in this process? Are you years away? Are you still in your 50s? We are in a 55 plus community, so there are people here that still working toward their retirement. But where are you? Are you planning your retirement? Are you close to your retirement? Do you think you'll be able to stay in place? Are you already in a home that accommodates you? These are things that we're very interested in. It'll give us an idea of maybe what to talk to you about next.
And so, in addition to leaving comments, we'd like for you to share and subscribe to this channel, which would help a lot. Like the channel, share and subscribe, because that will help us get started with it. We also have a couple of other channels that will be linked in this channel as well that you may want to go and look at for some other content that we also do. And part of what we want to do is we want to show you pictures of the house that we downsized from. We want to discuss what we did with that house to get it sold in one day. Right. And I'm very, very proud of the fact that we were able to get it sold at full price in one day in the current environment. We want to show you the condo that we bought. And then, as you can see behind us, this is part of the condo that we're in and what our plans are for the condo and what we're doing to update the condo away from the grandma's,
Put a name on it.
Well, my brother called it grandma's couch. Okay. There's a lot of grandma's couch stuff in here, right? So it's not, we wanted to update it and get it looking.
We'll tell you more about the condo next.
We'll show you what the condo looked like when we moved in, what it looks like now, and then what our plans are for it going forward. Those are the kind of things that we want to make videos on to show you what's going on with us. But we also want to make videos about things that you want to know about, like how we do the ChatGPT and how we use that to do planning. We'll be coming out with a lot more videos on this, as well as videos that are about our travel. So stay tuned, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Bye.
Bye.